All right, this update is brought to you by the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus. Aztecs back in action tonight at Viejas Arena versus Stanford. 6 p.m. tip-off, 5:30 is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. And Thursday night football tonight between the Rams and the Saints. Both teams are 7-7 in the playoff hunt. Kickoff is at 5:15 in LA. This Christmas, Paramount Plus delivers the gift of football when the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs host the division rival Raiders. It all kicks off 1 Eastern on Christmas Day. The NFL on CBS streams live on Paramount Plus.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim. As Jim just said, we've got Aztec basketball tonight at 6 with pregame coverage beginning at 5. A big one for San Diego State. We will get into it. Aztec Stanford Cardinal tonight at 6 p.m. Ted Leitner on the call right here on San Diego Sports 760. JD Wicker is San Diego State's athletic director. It is a busy time, an exciting time on the Mesa, and JD is going to join us in about 5 minutes. Also today, Chris Hodge, TakingVegas.com, had a winner for our listeners last week. Everyone had a winner last week. Raiders over the Chargers on Thursday Night Football. Chris Hodge will join us coming up at 4:30. And also today, we will give away tickets for the DirecTV Holiday Bowl, SC and Louisville. That's coming up next week right here on San Diego Sports 760. So here we are, Jim. This is your second to last show for the year. We will be here next week, me and Brent, for at least part of the week. How are you feeling right now in your second to last show? Because you're going to New Jersey when?
Red Eye tomorrow night.
Taking a red eye?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Red Eye tomorrow night.
How long are you going to be there?
A week.
Okay. And you're going to New York for the day.
And we're going to New York for 1 day, yeah.
And what are you doing the other 6 days?
Probably a bunch of nothing.
Okay. Watching the Niners against the Ravens.
Correct, yeah.
And hoping that you win your fantasy matchup and wondering if you should have started Matt Stafford or Lamar Jackson.
You pretty much, yeah. Like my dilemma is... And nobody cares. I understand that. Not even John.
No, I don't
cares
care.
A little
Absolutely,
bit.
I don't.
Like the slightest bit.
Not at all.
But my thinking is, all right, Lamar, I've started him all year. Obviously, he's one of the top 5 fantasy quarterbacks in the NFL. If he does well on Monday night and say they beat the Niners, I will be pissed. But hopefully, at least that will still help me.
He leads you to the championship.
Leads me to the championship. So I can find some type of positive out of Monday night if they lose.
Right, because if you don't start him.
Or he plays well, kicks ass, the Niners lose, and I still don't make the championship game because the rest of my players suck.
So it's probably a reason to start him, to be honest.
Yeah, and if Lamar sucks on Monday and the Niners win and it doesn't help me at all and I don't go to the championship, I'll be able to stomach it because at least the Niners won.
Correct. We're going to get into, nobody cares. We're going to get into some Padres rumors heading into 2024 and discuss some free agent possibilities coming up at 3:30. We mentioned JD Wicker is going to join us in a couple of minutes. Sean Lewis, not completing his first class, but taking a big chunk out of that first class with the early signing day we talked about yesterday. We're still waiting on some names, the biggest of which is Jordan Anderson, who's a 4-star receiver that was committed to Oregon that now reportedly is down to San Diego State and Oregon State. We're waiting on Jordan Anderson to potentially complete this early signing class. But there's been a lot of excitement on the Mesa around the work that Sean Lewis has done. So JD Wicker is going to join us in a couple of minutes. You're on Jordan Anderson watch like I am, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
100%. And we learned today from some of the covers recruiting that he might make a decision on Friday or tomorrow.
Dude, because it's a 3-day window, correct?
3-day window, then it closes, and then he can do it in February if he doesn't make a decision.
So players don't have to decide.
They do not.
No, it's just okay.
A lot of them want to get out of the way because a lot of guys enroll in the spring.
Correct.
The only way to enroll in the spring is to get it done now.
Yeah, and to be ready for the spring game.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
you can't play in the spring game if you don't sign now.
Or the game.
Yeah, you won't even be on campus.
Yeah, I know.
But you will be in the. I mean, is it?
And when is the spring game this year? April what?
It's in April. It's like the middle of April.
And when does practice start?
Middle of March.
March.
So it's later than they've normally been doing it.
Okay.
So we wait on Jordan Anderson. Again, I said yesterday, I don't know if any one player is making or breaking a class. I don't know if any one player is.
No, this guy's making or breaking this class.
This guy, but now that we're down this path, if he signs, we'll say he makes the class.
Correct.
If he doesn't sign, it's fine. They have a nice class. They signed like 25 guys yesterday, right?
Yeah, and if you love rankings, which everybody does,
right?
Even though they mean virtually almost nothing, Depends on how you play on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Aztecs have the top ranked class in the Mountain West, according to metrics and stats and,
Metrics and stats and stuff.
And star recruiting and all that stuff.
Right. What was that like? Remember the MVP award in Major League Baseball? Like the chief marketing officer for Ford was on the field. They're like, here's you win like an F-150. You get like, it's got like cool things and stuff.
Oh, technology and stuff.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's got a bunch of technology and stuff there.
That's like the Aztecs class. Yeah, they got like good stats and rankings and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
You want to go that route? Yeah. They have some good stuff and stats, and they're nice. They're okay.
So there's that, and then there's San Diego State basketball back in the floor tonight. Dave Velasquez with us yesterday, longtime San Diego State assistant, saying, look out. Stanford's been really good. They have size. They've had some close losses. This, to me, Jim, is a critically important game. It just is. I'm not saying it's a must-win. It's December 21st. But in order to keep your resume kind of scot-free, this is a game you need to win. It would be perceived as a bad loss, even though, in my opinion, it's not that bad because they played well. And it wouldn't even be perceived as a, quote-unquote great win. But it's one of those games that if you're San Diego State, as you build a resume, you need to find a way to win tonight.
Yeah, according to Dave Velasquez, they're like the largest basketball team in the history of the sport.
What'd you say? They're all Victor
Wembanyama, but they're all built like Jaden Ledee.
Right.
Like imagine if Victor Wembanyama was built like Jaden Ledee.
Wow. Hard to imagine that, honestly. It's like 7'5".
A 7'5" Shaq.
Right. He's pretty good at the way he's built right now.
With a wingspan of like 10 feet.
Yes, that would be intimidating.
That's how I'm viewing Stanford tonight, according to Dave Velasquez. I mean, he told us multiple times he couldn't stop talking about it. The size of Stanford is something that jumps off the screen when they watch film.
Are you saying, I'm asking a serious question, is this coach speak, what's being said here about Stanford, or is this a legitimate threat tonight against San Diego State? Aztecs have been in close games against a lot of teams over the last month.
I think it's like a combination of both. I think it's legitimate because, I mean, let's face it, the Aztecs don't have as much size as they did last year. Not even close. The loss of a rope, and Mensa, and Keshad, like, you lost a lot of size there. And Jay Powell, while he is, size-wise very tall, I don't see him, like, pushing guys around down low at all. They're relying on Micah Parrish to be more of a rebounder for this team because he's lengthy. So, yeah, I think it's legitimate, but I also do think there's, like, some coach speak in there as well.
The question for me is the health of San Diego State. Like, this was the story yesterday for Aztec fans because you won a game against a non-Division I opponent, but you lost two really important pieces in the process. One was Darian Trammell, non-contact ankle injury. Mark Ziegler writes yesterday he practiced for the Aztecs the day after suffering that ankle injury. And then there was Jay Powell, who got hit like in the face, nose area, and he was going to see a specialist to see what type of damage was done. Powell had been playing really good basketball, and Trammell, we know his value and impact. So if you're not at full strength, that could be impactful. Obviously, if you're not at full strength, if you didn't have someone like Darian or Jay Powell, that's something to keep an eye on, I would say, here tonight for San Diego State. But again, we have it coming up at 6 p.m. Ted Leitner on the call. Pre-game coverage is going to begin at 5 p.m. As we said a moment ago, it's always great to connect with JD Wicker, San Diego State's athletic director. It's been such an amazing year, obviously a busy time. Just a couple of weeks ago, he hired the newest head coach in San Diego State football history, and Sean Lewis completing his recruiting class, or starting to complete his recruiting class over the last 24 hours. So we have JD Wicker with us here on Jon and Jim. And JD, we always appreciate it, and happy holidays. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, happy holidays, guys, and always appreciate the time. It's a good time to be an Aztec.
No question about it. So what did you think, JD? This was a big part of your thought process, right? To bring a head coach in early to allow him to complete a class. What do you make of the way that Sean Lewis and his staff were able to do this in such a shorter period of time, about 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah, you hit it, right on the head. That was our thinking all along, was to, have a good head start on the process. And, it worked out, great, getting Sean on board as quick as we did. We had a short list of candidates that we had wanted to talk to, and through our search firm, Parker Search, they helped us get that done. And expedited decision. And then, Sean had a great plan coming in. That's one of the big reasons he's our head coach, is he had a great plan coming in. He knew he wanted to hire from a coaching standpoint, and was able to hit the ground running in San Diego. And obviously yesterday was, a really good day, and, still more work to do. We still got opportunities with the transfer portal for the next couple of weeks, and then start getting ready for spring ball.
When you interviewed Sean Lewis, was there a moment during that interview process where you said to yourself, okay, he's our guy? Or was it after the interview process, or like how long before you knew, all right, Sean Lewis is our guy?
Initial conversation, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, definitely at the top of the list. We had we had a deep pool. We had, really good people that we were talking to, and it really, he shined through as we had our in-person interview with him right after Thanksgiving, and, pulled that trigger. And, here we are today with, a lot of excitement around the program. It's going to look a whole lot different on the field from an offensive standpoint. Excited about the quarterbacks we've got coming in. I'm sure that should excite the fan base as well. So yeah, he's chomping at the bit. I know that, and so are we.
JD Wicker is with us right now, and Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, the Aztecs athletic director. Next year, JD, as you know, you've got both Oregon State and Washington State on the schedule at home at Snapdragon Stadium. How unique is that to be hosting those two programs within the same year?
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's great for our fan base. It's two definitely recognizable teams, and we're excited to bring them in, and definitely, something we weren't planning on. But now with the conference schedule laying out like it is, and the alliance with, those two schools, we're excited to welcome both to San Diego, and, hopefully get a couple W's.
What's your expectations for football next season, first year for Coach Lewis?
I think improvement over, the past year, get back to a bowl game challenge. We always, with the resources we put into football, with, the stadium and the facilities, and, the fan base, hopefully turning out next year, filling up Snapdragon Stadium, our goal is to compete for a conference championship, and it always will be.
JD Wicker is with us right now, and Jon and Jim. You mentioned Oregon State, Washington State, their scheduling alliance with the Mountain West. What does that mean, JD, for San Diego State? I mean, what are the benefits here that are at play with Oregon State and Washington State agreeing to an alliance, at least for the next year, with the league?
Yeah, I think it's one, it's good for them. It helps them out. Two, really, great programs. They've had a lot of success. Both of them had, some success this year. Washington State's had success over the last couple of years. But it's also bringing, two recognizable teams into the league. And it's, potential, not just a partnership for this year. It could be a long-term partnership that, benefits both of us, San Diego State, the Mountain West, and then both Oregon State and Washington State. So excited to be able to help them when they're in a tough situation. And I think this has the opportunity to be very beneficial for San Diego State down the road.
JD, what did you make of when the NCAA new president, Charlie Baker, kind of made headlines recently? He discussed this potential new tier of Division I, and I think there's a number of different factors in there, including the payment of athletes. I'm sure it's just in its infancy, but what could this mean for San Diego State if there's a new tier of athletics moving forward?
We've said we want to position ourselves to play at the highest level of, NCAA sports, whether it's football, basketball, water polo, soccer. So we'll continue to, follow what's happening. We'll share our opinion, our voice on the proposals as they continue to move. I mean, what Charlie Baker said was this is the start to a conversation. And it's something that we have to do based on, everything that's happening in the courts, whether it's, a West Virginia judge throwing out our transfer regulations, or the House lawsuit, or the lawsuit that just got filed recently with the Duke football player, the Johnson case in Pennsylvania. We've got to show Congress that we're taking it seriously, that we're willing to share revenue with student athletes, which we already do right now, scholarships, travel, all the other benefits that a student athlete receives. But, there is a lot of revenue, especially at the top of the FBS. So figuring out how to appropriately, make sure student athletes are seeing, a fair share, whatever that number may end up being, and knowing that you also have to meet Title IX, and we want to have broad-based athletics. So we'll continue to monitor what that looks like, and our goal will be to play at the highest level of, college football, college basketball, and all the other sports.
JD, what do you think the ramifications of the NCAA, potentially allowing not just one free transfer, but two free transfers?
Well, I mean, I think I'm in disagreement with it. I'm disappointed that, attorney generals of 7 states chose to go down this path. I'm disappointed that a judge in West Virginia chose to do it because it's not just about playing. I realize people don't talk about it much, but it's academic outcomes. A kid that's transferring 2 and 3 times is not going to have a good academic outcome. The number of credits that generally don't transfer from one school to another, and we've seen this time and time again as kids, student athletes transfer in, and we start, processing the credits from the classes that they've taken at their previous institution, and a number of those aren't going to transfer to San Diego State for whatever reason, or vice versa if they're leaving San Diego State. So if you're transferring for a second time, it should be more about getting your academic house in place. And if a kid's truly got mental health issues, then let's take some time to actually address those mental health issues as opposed to putting them back in the pressure cooker of, playing football and having to go to class and do all these different things. So I think we need to look at it from that standpoint. And yeah.
And doesn't it, to some extent, just to further on, JD, doesn't it kind of fly a little bit in the face of the NCAA's mission of graduating student athletes, right? I mean, if that is,
Well, yeah, I mean, the NCAA doesn't want to allow a free second transfer.
Right.
I mean, the courts and other people are getting into the business of college athletics, and they're not looking at it from the standpoint of what's a great academic outcome. So, no, I think NCAA, we never should have gotten into waiver process to begin with. Once you got your first free transfer and you're able to move, then after that, you have to sit here no matter what sport you're in. So I think that was a mistake on our part of, considering transfers because it just opens up Pandora's box. So going forward, I'm hoping that we'll sit there and say no waivers on a second transfer, and it's about academic outcomes.
Moving over to basketball, JD. Thoughts of the season so far? Game tonight, Viejas Arena versus Stanford. Big game tonight, 6 p.m. Listen out on San Diego Sports 760. But so far, how's the season gone, you think?
Yeah, I mean, so far so good. We added some pieces, and I think he's getting on the radio the other day talking about the number of injuries. Having the entire team playing all at the same time or practicing all at the same time, we're just starting to get there and, really starting to gel and hopefully coming off of a long break, a good game against St. Catherine's to, kind of get everything back in sync and to have everybody available. And we'll look forward to a very energetic Viejas Arena tonight for the Stanford matchup. And I think we're in a great place going forward. Our 2 losses are, to teams that are both, I think BYU's like 10-1 and Grand Canyon's something similar. So 2 teams that are, both playing very well at 2 hard places to play. That's only going to benefit us going down the road.
JD, before you go, I wanted to ask you about the women's program because they've won 5 straight. I think they won a couple of games in Florida. They're starting to play really good basketball. They're 9-4 overall. They had a really nice year last year. You must be pleased with what you're seeing right now in the women's program as well.
Yeah, Stacy and the team have done a great job. Really tough situation where, they don't really have a point guard.
Yep.
Having lost, a transfer and then 2 point guards tore ACL. So, they're trying to, put things together a little differently than what they had planned for. So I'm excited to see the success they're having, and, playing well as you go into the conference year is, always important. So excited for them.
JD, always appreciate it. Great to catch up. Exciting times on the Mesa with football and basketball and in athletics in general. Happy holidays. We'll do it again in 2024. And thanks for joining us on the home of the Aztecs.
All right, guys. Appreciate it very much. And happy holidays out there to the Aztec Nation. Go Aztecs.
All right, JD Wicker, we appreciate that. Yes, happy holidays absolutely to our listeners, to Aztec fans And tonight, a big one, as he said, San Diego State and Stanford. Do you want to get into Padres rumors on the other side?
I absolutely do.
Okay, we have some Padres rumors to share on the other side. Plus, why is baseball changing its rules again for 2024? What are the ramifications there? Chris Hodge taking Vegas, had a winner for our listeners last week on Thursday Night Football. He'll join us coming up at 4:30. And we have Holiday Bowl tickets to give away coming up at 4:45. Aztec pregame at 5 p.m. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, you're getting ready for the holidays, all that shopping, all the food you're going to be cooking, all the family that's going to be over, and you've got a one-stop shop right here in the college area at Windmill Farms with a family that has been serving San Diegans for over 20 years. Trevor, his mom, their family, they've been in the grocer business for over 20 years. I've been telling you about their deli each and every week. You should swing by because your 8th sandwich is free. They have an incredible selection of sandwiches. They really do, with high-quality ingredients, fresh, low prices. They really pride themselves on low prices, but you're getting ready for the holidays right now, and they have everything that you need: produce, meats, organic and farm fresh, all the craft beer you could possibly ask for, and the kombucha, and all the drink selections you need, plus the deli I've been telling you about. They're centrally located off Del Cerro Boulevard, right across from Montezuma Mesa, and again, family owned for 20 plus years. Even if you don't live or work in the college area, you can find Windmill Farms on Instacart. Nothing is easier than having your groceries delivered directly to your doorstep, especially during this busy time. So if you're looking for their specials, visit windmillfarmsmarket.com. They're updated each and every week at windmillfarmsmarket.com. And this holiday season, make sure to shop local and shop at Windmill Farms.
All right, this update is brought to you by the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus. Aztecs, Stanford tonight at Viejas Arena, 6 p.m. tip-off, 5:30 is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. And Thursday night football tonight, it's a big one between the Saints and the Rams. Both teams are 7-7, looking for a playoff spot. This Christmas, Paramount Plus delivers the gift of football when the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs host the division rival Raiders. It all kicks off 1 Eastern on Christmas Day. The NFL on CBS streams live on Paramount Plus.
All right, Jon and Jim back with you here, San Diego Sports 760. We'll get into some Padres rumors. Free plays coming up from Chris Hodge, taking Vegas.com at 4:30. But first, Major League Baseball will make the following changes to its rules in 2024. The pitch clock, which is the much discussed, I would say, last offseason. We spent as much time on the pitch clock as we did on, like, Manny Machado, potentially.
You did, yeah.
Here's the change. It's going from 20 seconds to 18 seconds with men on base. There's the big change, okay? Other than that, the runner's lane from home to first has been extended inside
Infield grass.
the chalk.
It's like widened. Widened?
What?
Widened. Is that a word?
Yes.
It's widened.
It's been widened. Okay, but the real story here is the pitch clock's going from 20 to 18 with men on base. And that's basically the real story. Is it that much of a factor? No, because when men aren't on base, the clock is at 15 seconds.
You also lose a mound visit.
Yeah. Nobody cares.
Down
right?
from 5 to 4.
I don't recall that ever being a factor.
That's my favorite part of the game.
Right.
Also, if a pitcher starts to warm up before an inning, he must face at least one batter.
Again, another thing you never see.
So you see these rule changes and you think to yourself, like, why are they doing this? Why are they making these rule changes? Is it because they want to speed the game up? They want to make it more exciting? What are they trying to do here?
Because baseball's in control and not the players. Because in this last CBA, they basically gave control to the commissioner's office and not the players, so they can tinker as much as they want. And they can do this each and every year.
What was the problem with last year? I thought last year the rules, the pitch clock, the games being around 2:30.
No, they were longer than that.
They were?
Oh yeah, in the big leagues, the average time of game. 2023, I guarantee. I'll bet you. Let's bet $400,000 right now. 2023 average time of game in the big leagues is way longer than 2:30.
Can I defer $300,997 of it?
You can. Average time of game. This is from MLB.com. 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh, so I was so off.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Well, you know what it is. That's still too long for people that don't like baseball. So we have to keep changing it until people that don't like baseball like baseball.
It was 3:03 the year before. Without the clock, it went from 3:03 to 2:40,
which was great.
This 2-second thing with men on base is going to shave what? 2 seconds off a game, or maybe a minute.
Well, also too, a lot of pitchers last year were complaining that the pitch clock actually turned into them getting injured.
No doubt.
I don't know the effect of this, but you're right. Hey, if they want to tinker, they can tinker. And I saw something today. Yahoo Sports posted the most watched sports leagues for average U.S. viewership per game.
Okay.
In all of America.
Okay. Is this local broadcast or national broadcast? Because sports like NBA, Major League
Nielsen,
Baseball.
national TV.
Oh, national. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So the NFL averages 9.2 million viewers per game.
I'm going to guess that's more than Major League Baseball.
It's more than every other sport combined times 3.
Okay.
Then the NFL is next at 711,000.
You mean the NBA?
Sorry, the NBA, my bad.
711 per nationally televised game last year.
Correct.
Okay. From 9.2 million. So a little bit of a decline.
Right. Can you guess what's next?
Well, I've seen the tweet. I want to say you're going to tell me Major League Baseball. Is it NHL?
Yeah.
And it doesn't surprise me, honestly.
300
less games.
300. Well, yeah, you're right.
You know, there's more of a premium on regular season than there is on Major League Baseball, is what I would say.
Well, still people say the NBA is too long and they have the same number of games.
No,
82.
What's that?
82.
Compared to the NHL, you're saying?
They both have 82.
I know, but I'm saying baseball's double the games.
Oh, yeah, 162.
Yeah.
398,000. And then baseball is fourth at 378,000. Major League Soccer is 133,000.
Okay.
My point was like, okay, are these rules what's going to help baseball gain more of a national viewership to
Right.
their game? Like, is the average fan like, guys, we have to watch this game? They changed the pitch clock by 2 seconds.
Not by 2. I mean, well, look at it this way. In park last year, so the year before the pitch clock, in park attendance in the big leagues was 64.5 million. All teams.
Okay.
64.5. This past year, it went up to 70.7. Huge. I mean, that's a huge increase. 10, 12% increase. Plus, and now, is there a correlation there? Did the attendance go up because the game length went down?
Maybe. Because people are like, dude, do you want to go to a game that's potentially 3 hours and 30 minutes? Or do you want to go to a game that you can get in and out within 2.5, maybe?
I always wonder that, though, because if I said to you, Jim, hey, let's go to a baseball game, and let's say we knew it was going to go 4 hours, but couldn't we just leave whenever we want to leave?
Yeah, but
we want to see the result.
And I always gave crap to people that like left a baseball game early, unless you had like a legitimate reason.
Right.
But if you're Major League Baseball, you want to make sure that you don't have any fans, especially with kids, go to the game at nighttime and say, "Oh, we have to be up early tomorrow morning for whatever reason." I know it's summertime,
no, I buy
school,
that.
but like my kids got to go to sleep. It's 10:30 at night,
right?
I mean, how many wrap-up shows did we do that first year that were like 11:30?
Yeah, and then last year we're doing them at like 9:40.
Yeah, it's just like,
actually the game started at 6:30, so even earlier.
It's like a huge difference.
Yeah, you're right.
For the sport. But is that what's going to make people watch nationally?
I don't know. The 2-second thing obviously has no impact.
No impact.
That's why I'm surprised they do it.
I know the fix, but it's never going to happen.
What's the fix?
Less games, more urgency. I'm not saying like pandemic style 60 games, but if you cut this thing down to like 130, and you put more urgency on games in the sport, it would become, I think, more of an attraction. But right now, baseball, to me, nationally, I think is viewed as background noise for a lot of people that are casual fans.
I just don't know, to be honest, Jim, if they went from 160 to 130 would have any impact. I mean, let's say you took April off the schedule. I'm just making up. You started May 1st.
Right.
Would anyone really change their viewing habits or their experiences with the sport? I mean, you still have 130 games.
And it's an everyday thing. Like baseball, it's a yin and yang. Like baseball to me, it's the everyday game, right? One day you can have an 0 for 4 night, 4 strikeouts.
Yeah,
best part about baseball is there's a game tomorrow.
Yep, I agree.
I just look at like, and nothing will ever beat football. But the reason why football is such a powerhouse right now, the urgency in the game.
Sure, there's only 17 of them.
And the fact that no matter what, every single game, guys are playing injured. They're playing balls to the wall. Like everybody is playing as hard as they possibly can, even if those teams suck, because they know, okay, I need to make sure I'm good on tape. So potentially my next team, I get picked up and I can continue my career. Baseball, it's just like, I got to, cramp. I'm out of the lineup tonight. And also too, another thing too, that baseball, like I hate about it. Same thing with basketball that I absolutely hate is how much the umpires and the referees have power to change a game by throwing somebody out because they might, not like what they said. Like that is a absolute joke in those two sports. Like
I do the same thing though in the NFL. It's like any one game is decided on any one call. Go back to Patrick Mahomes crying 2 weeks ago.
But you're not throwing Patrick Mahomes out of the game for him cussing a ref out. Like
no,
saying, what
but
the
I
F was
feel like
that?
I feel like that can impact the game as much as anything that.
But he's still playing. Is my point. If Manny Machado goes to the plate in the first inning of a game, doesn't like a pitch, turns around and says, "What the F was that?" and gets tossed.
Yeah,
like that's way more affecting the game than a penalty. It's just you're eliminating a player from the game.
If they want
isn't the reason why. Okay,
if they want to enact a rule, that's gonna like get me all excited. Be like, oh yeah, then come out tomorrow and be like, hey, guess what? Robot umps next year.
Well, that's coming. I mean, the reason people aren't watching baseball is because Manny Machado could be ejected in the first inning, or that it's 162 games, or that the game is 240, not 250. It's just there's a million reasons. Is my point. I mean, even the NBA, their stars don't play, yet they're doing quadruple the TV ratings. Maybe not, whatever you just said, double the TV ratings.
11,000.
And half the time, if you turn on the Clippers, you don't see Kawhi Leonard, or you turn on the Lakers, you might not see Anthony Davis, or whatever it is.
Well,
a national game.
They're also trying to put an emphasis on like, okay, we want you to play more games.
Well, I think baseball. Do you really think baseball's got a problem with stars not playing?
No, I think baseball has a problem with it's become such a regional sport that only nationally, like 2 teams people care about.
Yeah,
Nationally.
100%. I agree. I think locally it's very popular. Like
Very.
if you were listening to New York radio right now, they're talking about the Yankees and the Mets in the offseason. If you're in San Diego, we talk a lot of Padres. But I agree. I think when you put a Royals Cardinals game on nationally,
Nobody cares.
that's not going to resonate outside of Missouri.
Yeah.
And Kansas.
It's just I don't know the true fix of it all. I really don't.
Neither do I.
But baseball, I look at those numbers from the
Yeah,
and it's not good. Rob Manfred should not be pleased at all.
I think they fixed it by going from 20 to 18 seconds with men on base. Now you're going to see 9.3 million fans for every Royal Cardinal game in 2024. All right, Colin Cowherd legitimately hates Brock Purdy. He legitimately hates Brock Purdy. We'll tell you why. That's next. All right, we're giving away Holiday Bowl tickets in the 4 o'clock hour. Colin Cowherd with a very hot take today on Brock Purdy. That's next. All right, so I guess we're not exchanging holiday gifts because we would have to do that tomorrow, and nobody's. I mean, are we really doing that? Maybe next year.
Save up.
We should save up.
Yeah.
I think we should save up.
Yeah. What would you get me?
I'd like a gift card.
Yeah, probably.
To like brockpurdy.com or something.
That'd be a cool
like
website.
the Iowa State team stores, you can get like a Brock Purdy like 2018
Retro
jersey or something.
I might buy that.
Or like Niners.com / Steph Curry, even other than Niners. I don't know.
Make a website for me.
I really did. Yeah, maybe I'd make a website for you.
We'll get you a GoDaddy account.
Well, we could do it again. We're guys. That's my like.
But guys can do it.
You guys got me stuff last year.
Okay, we'll get Brent something.
We did.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys got me lottery tickets and like a AMC gift card. You guys got me a whole bunch of crap last year.
That means we need to do that again.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, we have plenty of time.
Oh, absolutely.
It's Thursday. Tomorrow's
Friday.
Me and John have plenty of time.
We have time.
We're not
gonna be
bailing for Jersey.
Yeah, we're not all going to Flyers games.
But I'm going to
every
be here
night next
tomorrow.
week. True. Okay.
I'm not. I'm taking a red eye tomorrow.
I'm sure you won't be totally phoning it in at all tomorrow.
Brent, I phoned it in all week though. I phoned it.
I know it's the go home
I
show.
phoned it all.
It's gonna be bad.
I phoned it in all year.
Since
Come
the
on.
show started.
Yeah.
By the way, 2-year anniversary show, January 10th. I know you have that circled.
What are we doing?
You tell me.
For a pizza party?
We should. Absolutely.
At Chuck E. Cheese, and we can broadcast from there.
By the way, there's nothing I dislike more in travel than a red eye. I know Jonathan's doing it tonight.
It depends where you sit.
Maybe.
I've had one where I got stuck in the center. So every time if I had to get up to pee or something, I had to crawl over all these people. But if people, they were sitting by the window, if they had to get up, then I had to move so they could go to the bed. It was annoying. You couldn't sleep.
So you get in at like what, 5, 6 in the morning, Jim?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll probably honestly watch like a movie on the plane and try to fall asleep. But tomorrow or Saturday, excuse me, it's just sleeping all day.
Yeah, I know you. You cannot.
Second year anniversary gift is something cotton. Just saying.
What do you mean? Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah,
2 years?
First year is paper.
Okay.
Second year is cotton, apparently.
You're going to buy me some cotton?
No, probably not.
Maybe we can get you another white shirt.
True.
Oh, yeah.
Or a black one. Okay, so Colin Cowherd had a segment today where he listed the top 10 players in the Niners-Ravens Christmas night game this weekend. Okay, so coming up when Jim's in Jersey, Monday
night. Did he leave
night.
him off the list?
What's that?
Did he leave him off the list?
That's what you're laughing at. So this is the game of the year in the NFL, pitting two of the very best teams. And Brock Purdy gets slotted where on Colin's list? The front runner for most valuable player in the league is, well, he's clearly like the best player in the game, right? No. Top 2, right? No. Top 3. He's ninth best player in the game. The player that's top 10 is Brandon Ayuk. Brock Purdy's right in front of him.
Okay.
He's got Debo. He's got CMC. He's got Lamar Jackson. Who else? Everyone. He had like Nick Bowden in front of him.
Bosa. He had Raekwon Smith.
Yeah.
He had obviously Trent Williams.
Yeah, he was like top 3.
Christian McCaffrey, who he compared to Walter Payton.
Why do you find that so interesting?
Because I think Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the NFL because he can do so many different things,
which is what Walter Payton was.
But I gotta like step away from my fandom for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Are we just forgetting about Marshall Faulk, LaDainian Tomlinson?
No, what were you thinking? A comp he has to compare him to like every running back ever?
No, but to say he's the best running back since like Walter Payton, I'm like, yo, what about these guys? Like,
I think
total
like,
slight.
Reminded him of like he's Walter Payton.
He honestly, Christian McCaffrey reminds me of Marshall Faulk. Or even LaDainian Tomlinson because the size comparison.
Okay, I mean, I don't find that to be the overly. That's what you're obsessing over. That he said Walter Payton and not Marshall Faulk.
He's like he's the best running back since Barry Sanders. I think he's freaking awesome and amazing.
But you're saying that's going too far to go back 30, 40, 50 seasons?
Yeah, because you're just discrediting a bunch of really good running backs.
But what do you think about Purdy as the 9th best player in the game? Like that one game.
Fine.
9th.
I want to say I'm over it. I'm over anybody in the national media wanting to try to discredit Brock Purdy.
It's top 10
and throwing out every hypothetical possible to discredit him. He's having a really good season, and if they end up getting the number 1 seed, he's going to have some stats that are honestly, when you look at it, like dive deep into the stats, they'll be some of the best of all time. So
hold on. Brock Purdy's gonna have some of the best stats of all time this year.
Yeah,
I think that's probably a reach.
It's not a reach.
Not a reach. Brock Purdy, his statistical season at the end of the year will stack up with the best seasons in Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Dan Marino's career.
Yeah, from statistics.
Or is that biased?
No. He's going to potentially...
He's going to throw for 55 touchdowns?
He's going to have one of the greatest quarterback ratings in NFL history. He's going to average the most yards per attempt in NFL history, potentially. More than Kurt Warner did. That was the last guy that did it. He's literally averaging a first down almost every throw. He's also QBR.
I feel like that's a stretch.
Lead the league in QBR. Won't be one of the best of all time. I'll give him that. He won't obviously break any like passing yard records or anything like that. Or touchdowns. He'll have 30 plus touchdowns on the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a stretch.
Okay.
Marino 84. Okay, 5,000 passing yards. Manning, I'm just looking these up. Manning 2013, 5,555 TDs.
I just said he's not going to do that.
All times 5,477 by Peyton.
Yeah, I know. I just said he's not going to get close to that. He'll have like 4,600 yards passing.
Oh, please. It's basically like a running quarterback.
Then that would put him at 46. That'd put him like 50th.
Top 50.
But that's not the stats I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I know. Only the ones that benefit him.
It's been a great year. I just don't know if people are going to say it's like a Marino or Brady year. Maybe if they win the Super Bowl.
No, look, it's fine. Whatever. People want to just
he's
say
a top 10 player in the
good
game.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, this game.
No, I know. I don't care about that. I just don't. I just think that people are like when Peyton Manning won those MVPs, are anybody discrediting him because he had Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Edgerrin James, and Clark, the tight end? No,
but they acknowledged it.
But they didn't say the only reason why Peyton Manning's putting all these numbers up is because of those guys.
But they didn't go, well, if he didn't have those guys, he would still do the same thing.
If he didn't have those guys, he would lead the league in interceptions, which he did.
Yeah, his rookie year.
So what are we saying here?
That I'm over it. I don't care. Brock Purdy's a really good player, and he's one of the best players in football. And if he wins the MVP, people are going to cry about it, and it's going to be funny to watch.
Potentially that's the case. All right. On the other side, we're going to get to the wrap. At 4:30, Chris Hodge, takingvegas.com, will join us. He has a pick for our listeners today. Actually, a couple of NFL picks he's going to make, including a free pick for you coming up at 4:30. At 4:45, your chance to win Holiday Bowl tickets. Pregame coverage for San Diego State and Stanford is coming up at 5 p.m. Stay with us on Jon and Jim.
This update's brought to you by the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus. Speaking of the NFL, tonight, Thursday night matchup between the Saints and the Rams. Kickoff at SoFi Stadium at 5:15 p.m. The Aztecs take on Stanford tonight at Viejas Arena, 6 p.m. tip-off. John, when's our pregame start? 5 o'clock pregame right here on San Diego Sports 760. This Christmas, Paramount Plus delivers the gift of football when the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs host a division rival Raiders. It all kicks off at 1 Eastern on Christmas Day. The NFL on CBS streams live on Paramount Plus.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. Chris Hodge, our buddy from TakingVegas.com, who made a very generous donation, by the way, to the Rady Children's Give-a-thon. He will join us at 4:30 with free plays for our listeners. So be listening for that. We have Thursday Night Football tonight, not on San Diego Sports 760, because we have Aztecs basketball tonight, San Diego State and Stanford at 6, with pregame coverage beginning at 5. I had something I really wanted to say to you.
What?
I really don't know, but I feel like it was so important.
Must have been since you forgot it.
Completely forgot. I'm an
idiot. You hate me.
No, none of that. None of that.
You'd never forget that.
I would never.
Yeah, it's on top of mind every day for you.
Oh, man. There was something so critically important I wanted to tell you. Maybe next year.
Does it have to do with the Aztecs? Does it have to do with...
It would probably. I mean, my brain only thinks about like 2 things.
Right.
It's like
Palm
Aztecs,
rankings,
Padres.
and Aztecs. And
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 3 things.
Right. How about the rumor real quick that Yamamoto is going to be with Ohtani at the Rams Saints tonight?
Dude.
And then Heyman's like, yeah, that's not the case. I mean, Yamamoto's not going to the Rams game tonight during free agency, right? Apparently no. Because the speculation was he's actually down to the New York teams. It was Mets Yankees, but then there was the wrench that he was going to go to the Rams game tonight.
Would that be tampering anyways? To be like,
no
hey,
idea.
look, we just happen to be at the Rams game together.
It's how the offseason has gone for reporting.
Right.
It's
right.
a lot of like, trust me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of things that are being reported that aren't true. That's why it's getting to a point where just only person you should listen to is Jeff Passan for anything. Like, don't, but we're not in the business of that. We're in the business of rumors, speculation, and the Padres were linked to this guy, and the Padres potentially who trade pieces. Well, Ha-Seong Kim, right? But at the end of the day, the person that gets it all right is Jeff Passan. Everybody else is like very far behind.
We have a developing story, and I have no clue what it even means. I forgot that there was even something occurring here. There's been a statement issued by the Pac-12 within the last 1 minute. We are pleased to have reached an agreement in principle that ends litigation. Remember, the 10 departing schools had sued Oregon State and Washington State. That litigation is over. Oregon State and Washington State are in control of the Pac-12. The question is, what do they do next? Do they just play as a 2-team league and eventually get into another league? Or do they try to add and expand as a 2-team league with some of the assets from the Pac-12? But the litigation between the departing 10 schools and Oregon State and Washington State is over, which might pave the way for quote-unquote Pac-12 expansion. But again, the Pac-12 is down to 2 schools. So we'll see what comes out of that. But again, there have been litigation for a long period of time. It had been pretty bitter between some of the schools. That litigation is now over. As again, the statement from the Pac-12, we're pleased to have reached an agreement in principle that ends litigation. What does that mean, Jim?
I don't want to talk about litigation talk.
Litigation talk. Okay, let's get to it.
It's time for The Wrap, presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Is tonight a must-win for the Aztecs?
every
game.
Every game. It's not a must-win, but it's a big game. It's a big game for sure. If they win this game, you feel pretty good about yourself. And who knows with Darion Trammell and Jay Powell tonight. Mm-hmm. It seems like Darion Trammell might suck it up and tape it up and get out there. I don't know about Jay Powell. But if they don't have those 2 players tonight, it's going to be much more difficult to win. But it's a big game. I'm not saying it's a must win, but it's a big game.
Completely agree with you. San Diego State right now in the net is 27th. They were 23rd yesterday. They went from 23 to 27. They're still very well positioned in the net, but they cannot afford to slip up against Stanford because Stanford, for whatever reason, is still way down the net, 156. Now, they could move up 30 spots with a road victory here tonight, but from San Diego State's perspective, you can't afford a quote-unquote bad loss. This would be a quad 3 loss, I think, for the Aztecs if they lose tonight. So you got to take care of business. I'm with you. Not a must win. There's tons of basketball in front of San Diego State, but a game that you kind of have to get if you're San Diego State from a resume perspective. Let's get to our next question.
How many moves is AJ Preller going to make this offseason?
I'm going to say that, well,
what does that mean?
Like how many more moves he's going to make?
Major League roster?
Because you have 7 spots remaining on this
40-man?
40-man?
But that's a lot of moves that might not involve the Major League roster.
I was more referring to like trades or signings.
Okay. So how many?
I'm gonna say 3.
No, I'll go way higher than that.
I'll go 4.
Right?
4. But 3 could bring in like multiple players.
No, I know, because a trade could bring in like 3 big leaguers.
True.
But signings, he's gonna have to fill this thing out. I'll say
okay, total trades and signings, then yeah, I'll go 4.
I'll go higher. I'll go 6.
Okay. That's a lot.
Signings? No, I think they probably.
Does Yuki Matsui count as one because they have not announced it yet?
No, that's okay. We'll pretend like that. This
has
is
happened.
After. We'll pretend like that's happened.
But what if that doesn't happen though? Because it's been a couple of days now, and I'm like, wait a second here, guys.
Well, then we should probably change our next question in the wrap. Right? You say 4 moves, I say more moves than 4 from AJ Preller.
Okay.
Still to come.
Okay.
Not involving Yuki Matsui.
Yeah.
What's the next question?
Speaking of,
Jim, why haven't the Padres announced the Yuki Matsui deal yet?
I don't know. Does a physical take that long?
Seems super long.
Something's a little off there.
It seems like it.
Do you think that
he's like, I wanted $3 billion?
Yeah, you said $3 billion. Come on, $3 billion, guys.
Yeah, right.
4-year, $3
Is that
billion.
the holdup? He thinks $3 billion. They think 20 mil.
I don't know what the holdup is.
It's really weird.
Like it wasn't reported by. I mean, Mark Feinstein, I think, is pretty credible.
Definitely. But he's not Jeff Passan.
He's not Jeff Passan. Also, Yahoo Japan reported it as well.
True. No, you're right. Yeah. Which you would think would have some level of knowledge. He's been playing in Japan.
It's weird, dude. I don't know, man. It's weird.
Do you think that there's are you beginning to get suspicious or curious or worried? Is this at 99.9 or is it now lower than that? Is this Correa? Where we heard nothing for days, then all of a sudden, we're not going to sign.
I'll just say this: if it falls through or it fell through or it doesn't happen, it's not going to be the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not like we got the pass in. Hey, Ohtani's going to sign with the Padres. Maybe not. People would freak
not the
out.
Ken Rosenthal. Sorry to bring this up, but
I think it happens, but I don't know if it's a lock. I think it happens.
I think it happens too. It might happen next week. Maybe it's just like a
Christmas Day.
We'll wait for the holidays to get over and we'll make this thing official middle next week.
Maybe they were waiting for the Pac-12 litigation to end.
Maybe they were.
Next question.
Are the Clippers the best team in the NBA?
All right. So
we were texting back and forth about this today.
John, out of nowhere, he starts texting me just random Clipper stats with Kawhi.
Do you know why I did it? Because Too Much Morton's on social media put some meme out, but it was about Kawhi. The Clippers or something. But then I looked it up, and the Clippers have won 9 straight.
Yeah, they're going for 10-9.
Kawhi's season. Jim, look at it. 53% shooting from the floor, 43% from beyond the arc. Every single night, he has been unbelievable. In the last 8 or 9 games, he has been so efficient. Everyone else is playing well.
They're the hottest team in the NBA. They're not the best.
Yeah, probably true. Are they a contender?
When did you text me this?
If they stay healthy. Who knows? Is Harden going to disappear once the postseason starts usual?
I said that. Don't read exactly what I said about everyone around him.
No. Hold on. What did you just say?
Because I was like, listen, if you win, I said, is he a top 10 player all time if you bring a championship to the Clippers with this roster?
We were texting. He goes, dude, by the way, do you realize what Kawhi is doing right now? He's going to turbo mode. 53% overall, 43% from 3. Dude's ridiculous. My response was, okay.
And then I'm like, I had a serious question. I said,
serious question.
Is he a top 10 player if he brings a title to the Clippers with this roster? Bunch of 35-year-olds that have never won anything anywhere.
I said no.
And I was like, dude.
You're like, but these dudes are morons. You got Harden, Westbrook. I mean, come on. You can't win with these guys.
No, I didn't say that exactly.
He said
no.
Who can't?
But I'm saying if you can win with that roster,
you're like, this guy sucks.
3 rings. It would be 3 titles. No, 4 titles?
It would be 3.
He won 2 with the Spurs.
He won 1 with the Spurs.
Okay, 1, 2. He won 2 with the Raptors. I'm just trying to give him one more.
All right, if he won with he won 1 with the Clippers, he would have 3. And if you say he won in the Finals MVP, so that's 3 Finals wins and 3 Finals MVPs.
That's crazy.
It's really good.
Right.
I don't think his overall like numbers and in-season stuff would be. You could put him in the top 10.
He only has 2.
No, right.
We don't know. Yeah.
But if he gets a third, again, it's an if. I understand.
Yeah,
they're not the odds-on favorite, but that's what I'm saying. It would be incredible work.
He's one of the. He'd be viewed as. We talked about this yesterday.
Clutch
with Steph, and like is in the conversation with best of all time. Kawhi would be known as one of the greatest basketball players of all time if he accomplished that. So like that to me is an amazing accomplishment. To be known as one of the greatest of all time. 3 finals MVPs, 3 different organizations. That and
that's what I was saying.
And getting
you were
the
no.
Raptors and Clippers. But
that's what I'm saying.
But you're saying like best of all time.
No, I didn't. I said, would he be considered a top 10 all-time player if he brings a title to the Clippers after doing what he did with the Raptors and winning with the Spurs?
See, the problem with that is like
complicated legacy. He hasn't played a ton.
Not as many all-star appearances as you would like. No MVPs.
I know.
You know, it's
first team all defense a million times.
His numbers, stats wise, like how many career points does he have?
It can't be a crazy number.
Yeah, it's not a lot. So like that right there, he'll be a Hall of Famer. He's already a Hall of Famer.
Be a Hall of Famer. How many? This is a great point. How many career points do you think Kawhi Leonard, Mr. I was on the all-time leaderboard yesterday?
I'm gonna say around 16,000, 15,000, maybe less than that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the answer.
Oh, great! Yeah, have in front.
Oh, here it is. 12,900.
Yeah, see,
82.
Yeah,
he's missed a lot of games.
He's only played 655 career games.
Yeah, you can't have a guy be considered greatest of all time when you only scored 13,000 points in your career.
But does it matter what you're doing against the Nets on a Tuesday, or does it matter what you're doing in the postseason, where he's been lethal?
Well, I mean, I agree with that sentiment. Like I agree with in baseball. If you're a guy in baseball that has a bunch of postseason awards, but you don't have the regular season numbers to back it up,
right?
Why can't that guy be a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, it's a good point.
I hate that argument from baseball writers who are stupid. An MVP who won, 3 or 4 World Series,
359 in 100 postseason games.
Right?
Like, isn't that a big deal?
He had like an NLCS MVP or whatever,
1,000 OPS in 90 games.
But hey.
His regular season
that Wednesday night versus the Rockies, like
he was 1 for 4.
Yeah, didn't help him. His MVP, his Hall of Fame cause.
That's a good point.
So, basketball, they kind of not put so much emphasis on that. If you won championships, like you're a Finals MVP, like you're probably going to be a Hall of Famer.
How many games do you think out of 27 this year has Kawhi played?
Of 27?
Yeah.
20?
27.
All of them.
That is incredible. Kawhi Leonard has played in all 27 games. By the way, he's questionable tonight against Oklahoma City. They've won 9 straight. He has played in every single game this year. And in the process, he's put together an unbelievable year. And he said last year, it takes me 2 years to get back from this knee. That's what everyone's been telling me. And this is going to be a problem. I think he was good, not great. He played 50 games, which is what you're seeing a lot now in the NBA. You said, listen, Steph changed the game with the 3-point shot, and you're 100% right. Kawhi, whether you like it or not, kind of changed the game with the way people treat the regular season. And the NBA is trying to get back underneath that.
Yeah, but it's also made the NBA pivot to like, hey, you can't do this.
I agree.
You can't just sit out whenever you don't feel like you want to play, or if you're like nicked up a little bit. Like the point of sports is everybody's injured, so try to play through it unless you're legitimately hurt.
Right. It's professional sports. Yeah. Like I'm just looking this year. He's just had a really good year. 25 points per game, 53% shooting. They've won 9 straight.
Like Rich McGuire on our YouTube chat makes a good point for a player that was amazing in the postseason.
Yeah.
Has the rings, right? I think he's won either maybe a World Series MVP. Maybe I don't know.
He's also like a 5, 6, 7-time All-Star. And no, that's a fair point. Like postseason, Bernie Williams has 121 games and a career OPS of 850, which is really good.
How many rings
he's
does he have?
He's got 4, right?
Does he have any World Series MVPs?
4 in 5 years. I would have to
look at the top.
I know I'm looking. No, it's at the bottom, isn't it?
It's on the top. It tells you the top.
I'm looking at the bottom. Awards. He's got 96 ALCS MVP, 98 AL batting title. He's a 5-time All-Star, and he's been up for Hall of Fame voting. He was in 2012 and 2013. He never got more than 10% of the vote. That's a good point, though, as someone that won a lot and performed a lot in the postseason. It was a good player, not a great player.
He'll never be a Hall of Famer.
No, he won't.
Because baseball's stupid. And they'll never change.
And this is why only 300,000 people are watching nationally televised games.
Yeah. It's so stupid. I love baseball so much, but I hate it sometimes for things like that. It's just little things you're like.
But does the NBA let too many in sometimes? I'm not using Kawhi as the example. He should be a Hall of Famer across sport. But it feels like a lot of guys.
They don't let everybody in.
No, not everyone. But it's not as selective as baseball. But maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah,
yeah,
because they want to celebrate their sport and players and make sure that as many of these players are celebrated for the good things they did in the sport.
But technically, there's not an NBA Hall of Fame, though.
It's professional basketball. I know. It's European, it's men's, it's women's. I think there's
college.
Some collegiate, right?
It's all forms.
Yeah. Have you been there? No, because you've never been. You should do that on your. It's in Massachusetts. You could walk from Jersey.
Perfect.
By the way, developing story: the San Francisco Giants are out on Yoshinobu Yamamoto. They've been told. And they pushed hard, but the expectation is he will end up in LA or New York. Buster Posey's quote, causing problems again. So the Giants are out, or have been told that they are out on Yamamoto. They did land Jung-Hoo Lee. They may land Blake Snell. They are out on Yamamoto. We now wait on Mets, Yankees, Dodgers. That's got to be it, right? There's no other candidate other than Mets, Yankees, Dodgers for Yamamoto, right?
I said this. I'd be shocked if he goes anywhere but the Dodgers.
Really?
Not shocked.
I think
let me phrase that. I would put the betting favorite for the Dodgers. Yankees, they have a good shot, but I mean, when you have
the money that the Dodgers now have freed up,
your teammate potentially Shohei Ohtani just hitting up your phone every day,
and they need starting pitching.
Yeah, I mean, hey, bro, come on, let's go, let's do this.
Right?
Like this team is a perennial winner. This team wins 100 games every year. Yankees. They won 82 games last season.
What would be a bigger problem for the Padres next year, Ohtani or Yamamoto?
Yeah, Yamamoto.
I agree.
No question about it.
I agree.
I think
because now you're talking about a guy pitching the postseason.
Yeah.
Ohtani long term. I mean,
could you just imagine if the Dodgers had Yamamoto and Ohtani, and if Ohtani was healthy enough to pitch, and then they have Tyler Glasnow and Walker Buehler and Dustin May.
I don't want to imagine that. Now, is Ohtani? When did he have?
Up in my mouth.
When did he have the elbow procedure? September.
We don't know. We have no idea.
But he left the team in September, right?
Yeah, he just said peace out, bye.
So let's just say it was in September, because that makes sense with him leaving the team. To your point, like if the Dodgers are a postseason team and you're 13 months off injury, is there any possibility? Has that even been discussed? That
I don't know.
Ohtani could return in any capacity.
They've been very hush hush on this whole procedure thing.
Yeah, I agree. It's a UCL tear, is it not? Was it not Tommy John? Isn't that the expectation? He tore his UCL. The only way to put it back together is with this procedure, I believe.
At least 9 months.
Okay, at least 9 months. But that's a factor I hadn't really even considered, to be honest with you. Ohtani pitching at all in 2024. I hadn't considered that. But it is Shohei Ohtani. It's kind of like a one of one. I wouldn't be shocked if he was on the mound at some point in 2024. That wouldn't shock me. And he's only making $2 million a year. Even more of a value. I know. All right. On the other side, Chris Hodge, takingvegas.com. Free picks for our listeners next. All right. Hey, guys, it is Schaefer. I've been telling you all about our friends over at Loan Pronto. As you know, the year is almost over. You might still need cash for the holidays. You might want to be credit card debt free for the new year. You can call Loan Pronto today because their Express Equity line of credit can get you $100,000 or more in as little as 5 days. That's in time for the new year. You've got a ton of equity in your home, and Loan Pronto can help you turn that equity into cash. You can access up to 95% of your home's value, and you can use that money to pay off your credit cards or pay off personal loans or start a home improvement project in 2024. So get the money you need now and still keep your primary mortgage intact. That 3% rate you might have, that's protected. And with Loan Pronto's Express Equity Line program, 90% of the time, there's no need for an appraisal. You can get your money super, super fast. Get the cash you need. Pay off those credit cards before the start of the year. Get yourself on solid financial footing as we head into 2024 by calling Loan Pronto. You can call right now, 619-207-4336. That's 619-207-4336, loanpronto.com. Call 619-207-4336. Equal subject to lender approval.
All right, this update is brought to you by the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus. Aztecs basketball tonight versus Stanford, 6 p.m. tip-off at Viejas Arena. 5 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. And Thursday night football tonight kicks off at 5:15 at SoFi Stadium in L.A. between the Rams and the Saints. This Christmas, Paramount Plus delivers the gift of football when the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs host the division rival Raiders. It all kicks off at 1 Eastern on Christmas Day. The NFL on CBS streams live on Paramount Plus.
All right. Speaking of which, Chris Hodge, takingvegas.com, who's been unbelievable for our listeners and our community. Chris, I want to start by thanking you once again for your very generous donation to the Rady Children's Give-a-thon last week.
Yes.
We really do appreciate that. I know a lot of our listeners also appreciate the fact that anyone that texted you this past week, if you texted the word win, W-I-N, to 545454, you had an easy Thursday night winner. That was the Raiders over the Chargers. And again tonight, if you text the word win to 545454, you're getting a free play tonight as well as free picks for football games this weekend. Chris, great to have you back. Happy holidays, and thanks for doing it.
Great to be here. And listen, I'm going to tell you guys the truth now. This game tonight, it's not going to win by 400 like Las Vegas did last week. But very confident in this game. I do feel we have the right side. And not only do you get this game tonight, we really like the James Madison Air Force Bowl game on Saturday. So we're going to give that for free as well. So all you have to do is text the word win. Like you said, Jim, text win to the number 545454. We can't make it any more simple and plain than this. And automatically, no one to speak to, you get the play sent right back to you via text message.
Chris, the MVP discussion this year in the NFL has been, I feel like, crazier than any other year I can remember. Right now, the betting odds is for Brock Purdy, but for you, what's your take on the MVP? Is there any good value if it's not going to be Purdy?
I think there's very good value in McCaffrey. I really do, because I feel like he's the best player on the best team. They tend to give this award to a quarterback. Obviously, we know that. I'm not saying anything there that's different. Purdy's 2-1 right now. He's minus 200, right? But I want to bring you back to the Heisman race. Before Oregon played Washington in that Pac-12 championship game, Bo Nix was the prohibitive favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. And it took one bad game on a national level for Jaden Daniels to come in and win that award. And he was, before that Pac-12 championship game, he was 10-1. It's the same situation with McCaffrey right now. McCaffrey is 10-1. He is by far the best player on the 49ers. Take nothing away from Brock Purdy. He's playing lights out. They tend to give it to a quarterback. But you don't really want to lay 2-1 in a situation where if he has a bad game on Christmas night, I'm not saying he will, but if he does, if Lamar Jackson outplays him, but you have McCaffrey have a big game and everyone sees it, those odds for McCaffrey are going to come down. So I think right now and look, you can get him at higher odds too. DraftKings is 10-1. FanDuel has 15-1 right now. So I would take McCaffrey. I let him play the last 3 weeks, let him do what he does, and he'll be right in the mix at the end of it.
It seems like a lot of value, like you said, between 10 and 15-1. Chris Hodge is with us right now, takingvegas.com. If you're looking for his free play tonight, you don't have to talk to anyone like you just said. Just text the word WIN, W-I-N, to 545454. Right now, you get free plays tonight and this weekend across college and NFL football. Again, text the word WIN to 545454. All right, you have free plays for our listeners, as you always do. Let's start with Cowboys Dolphins in the NFL this weekend. What's your opinion and play here?
I feel like these are the two most fraudulent teams that are 10-4 this late in the season that I can ever remember in the NFL. Let's start with Miami. Okay, Miami has played 3 good teams this year. 3. Okay, they played they got blown out by Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Okay, they were never in the game against Kansas City. All right, it was 21-14. They were never in that game. And in those 3 games, they've been outscored 100-51. Okay, they've scored 390 points in the other 11. So they're 10-4. They've lost to the 3 good teams they played, and they weren't close in any of those games. And then you got Dallas. Now, Dallas, everyone was high on Dallas. Everyone said Dallas is on this run. Well, that 5-game winning streak Dallas was on, they beat the Giants. they beat the Panthers, they beat Washington, they beat Seattle, and then they catch the Eagles in a good spot coming off the San Francisco game. Then what do? They go to Buffalo, who hasn't seemed to do anything right this year, and Buffalo kicked the hell out of them all over the field. So you have two fraudulent teams with the spread right around -1. I'd say lay off that, take the total. The total right now is around 50.5, 51, and I think it's going to be a defensive game. Miami doesn't perform well against good defenses. Their offense is stat padded by playing bad teams. And Dallas has a very good defense. I think Miami's defense can do a good job in that game as well. So 50.5, 51, I think that's a high number. I'm thinking the game is like 24-17. So I'll go with take the under in that game.
Ravens Niners, we already mentioned it, Christmas night, potentially the game of the year in the NFL. What's your thoughts on that one? And are you surprised by the line there?
All right, so I was wrong last week, and I have no problem saying this. You guys know this about me, right? When I break down a game and I'm incorrect with it, I come on and tell you guys. Last week I said San Francisco was going to win, but I thought they wouldn't cover against Arizona, and that proved to be incorrect. They played a wonderful game against Arizona. Here's the thing with Baltimore. In their last 25 games as an underdog, they have 20 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie against the spread. The average spread in those games is 4.5. So they're getting 5 in this game. I do think that's a little high. But I also do think San Francisco is the better team. They get them at home, and they get them on a holiday. And that's always tricky, especially Baltimore has to travel across the country during a holiday weekend. I think San Francisco gets it done, but I think we're going to sweat it. I think it's going to be like a 7-point game, and Baltimore's going to have the opportunity to go down and score. And if San Francisco can get the stop at the end of the game, literally, I think it's like 27-20, something in that area. So I'm going to lay the points with San Francisco, but be cautious here because it's the last game on a holiday weekend. It's going to be a great game. It could be a potential Super Bowl matchup. I don't want to take Baltimore in this spot. I want to force Baltimore to have to beat me on the road. So I'm going to lay the points with San Francisco, but I believe the under in the Dallas game is a much stronger play.
Okay, so if you want free plays tonight, Rams, Saints, and for college and NFL action this weekend, all you have to do right now is text the word WIN, W-I-N, to 545454. Again, text the word WIN to 545454. You'll get a free play for tonight as well as free football games for this weekend. Now, Chris, before you go, if you wouldn't mind telling us right now about what sportsbooks are doing in regards to telling people what to bet. What's going on right now with the sportsbooks that you've been telling us about?
So I've been in this business for 20 years now, and I literally cannot believe what I'm witnessing go on. So you have the sports books, FanDuel, DraftKings, even ESPN Bet, right? They are telling people what to bet on. They are actually giving out $10, 14 prop parlays. They never win them. But just think about this logically, right? Because the sports books are the ones that are trying to take your money, right? Let's just simplify it. If you walk down the street and somebody was trying to take your money, you would look at them as an enemy. Yet, when the sports books give out information that is completely fraudulent and not going to win for you, you guys go and do it. And when I say you guys, I mean the people that bet with them. And I just can't believe it. And what I've preached on Sports Investors Daily, which unfortunately we can't do in San Diego right now because California doesn't have legal sports gambling yet. When it does, hopefully we'll be right back with our show. But our show is to try to teach people how to wager in a patient, disciplined, smart way. So if you do what the sports books want you to do, which is bet 14 prop parlays every single night, give it up. You're never going to win, and they're going to take your money, and they're going to do it happily. But if you do it in a way like we try to tell people to do it, in a smart way, you can have success. So, we'll start you off with free picks this weekend. Just text the word WIN to the number 545454. You get the game tonight. We have JMU Air Force on Saturday. And I'll throw out a bonus there because it's Christmas, all right? And you guys have always been so kind to me. I'm going to throw out a bonus. We must go 2-0, or we'll give you our best bet on Sunday for free as well. So you're going to get tonight, you're going to get Saturday. We must go 2-0, or we'll give you the best bet on Sunday for free. Just text the word WIN to the number 545454.
Chris, you're the best,
Love
man. We really appreciate it. Happy holidays to you and yours. We will catch up with you in the new year. We thank you for doing it, and we're looking forward to this weekend. And have a good one. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Merry Christmas.
All right. Chris Hodge, takingvegas.com. Again, text WIN, the word WIN, to 545454. Padres rumors.
Let's get to them.
We've been teasing that. That's on the other side. Stay with us. All right, hey guys, what's going on? It is Schaefer. We've been telling you about our friends over at Novo Brazil Brewing. They are a proud supporter of the Mesa Foundation Collective, benefiting San Diego State Aztecs men's and women's basketball. Just last month, I was down at one of their breweries with Lamont Butler and Jaden Ledee and Micah Parrish and others, and they were tasting different Nova kombucha flavors. They've got a brand new co-branded product coming out later this winter that I'm thrilled about. They've got fantastic locations. Novo Brazil Brewing, 4 fantastic locations right now. Another one opening up in just days in Mission Valley right now. They've got one in Otay Ranch that I was at a couple of weeks ago with massive LED screens, great food and drinks. We can't wait for this new spot in Mission Valley because Novo Brazil Mission Valley is 350 seats, full bar menu, 60 taps of Novo Brazil beer, Nova Kombucha, which is absolutely spectacular. Nothing compares. I've been picking some up over at Windmill Farms. They've got seltzers, just wonderful food offerings, sandwiches, tacos, burgers, empanadas, appetizers, Brazilian-inspired entrees. These are great spots. They've got everything you need. Support our community, including San Diego State men's basketball through the collective with the Mesa Foundation. So again, for more information, visit novobrew.com. That's Novo brew.com. All right, so we've mentioned all day we have Aztec pregame beginning in 11 minutes.
What's that?
We have Aztec pregame in 11 minutes.
Dude, what was that?
But the headline, like one of the stories today was Padres rumors.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jim, after an hour and 49 minutes, what do you have for us? What are some rumors related to the Padres?
Well, it's a good question, John. Hold on. I have it saved here. I saw something today that I kind of was like, yeah, no, that'd be bad.
After all this, hold on, John, let me find it. Okay, what do you have?
I have it. So this Boston Sports Gordo.
Okay.
He does a game. I like this game. We might steal it. Who says no?
Oh, not this stupid Musgrove deal.
The stupid Musgrove deal. The stupid Musgrove deal.
This is the Padres rumors we've been waiting for?
Joe Musgrove and Ha-Seong Kim to the Red Sox for Tanner Hook and Nick Pivetta. Hauk.
Why?
So to get out from underneath salary.
Correct.
And because the guy has a Twitter account and he needed to tweet something out today. Who is this guy? Does he have followers? Does he have a title? Does he have a job? Who is he? Let me read the bio for it. Let me see this bio. Okay, this is Boston Sports Gordo, 11.6K followers on Twitter. Your one-stop shop for breaking Boston sports news, rumblings, and highlights from Nat Gordo, co-host of Play Tessie, WEI, our competitor.
It's a lot of ets.
Okay. I mean, there's a level of credibility maybe there, but just because he put a graphic Joe Musgrove is not being traded.
I'm not saying that this is like something that I put any legitimacy towards.
Okay.
I think the one thing that keeps getting brought up is Ha-Seong Kim.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ha-Seong Kim keeps getting brought up a lot.
What about Jake
Cronenworth?
Yes.
Not so much.
Not getting brought up, you're saying?
Not getting brought up. Because why would you?
Dennis has said in his articles that they're trying to find a potential suitor, but they're running into roadblocks because he's overpaid.
Well, that's different than being brought. I mean, he's not a guy that getting calls for. Like, people aren't calling the Padres asking about Jake Cronenworth. They're calling the Padres asking about Ha-Seong Kim. Potentially. Theoretically. Maybe. I don't know.
Right. Okay.
If a team were to call the Padres,
they would
ask about Ha-Seong Kim.
Would you move Kim?
No.
For the right trade. Starting pitching,
no.
Outfield help.
Well, then if you lose Ha-Seong Kim, it's like you move Ha-Seong Kim, you replace him, or you bring in potential help that you need for other areas of your team, but then you now need to replace Ha-Seong Kim.
That's a good breakdown. Here's the issue with not having Kim.
Dude, I'm checked out.
Machado, surprise, since January 10th, 2022. Here's the problem. Manny Machado had an elbow injury. When's he going to be in the field? Who's playing third? I would think Kim is going to play a lot of third early. That would be my guess.
Yeah. I would guess so.
30 plus games, maybe.
But you still need a first baseman, you still need a left fielder, still need a center fielder. By the time that we get back together,
well, tomorrow,
after the break,
yeah,
because I don't think anything's happening tonight or tomorrow.
Is that what your source is? Is that what Boston Sports Pro is saying?
You know what? Do you think something's gonna happen tomorrow?
I could see Yuki Matsui. Because we've been waiting and waiting.
That'd be amazing.
I mean,
by the new year, by the start of the new year, how many moves the Padres?
Oh, here we go. Including Matsui or not?
Not including Matsui.
Probably 0.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what you just said.
I just said that.
Yeah, good point. Next year though, there'll be moves.
There's always next year, guys.
There's next year there will definitely be moves. So okay, so you're telling me that this graphic that had Joe Musgrove on it, disregard it, but you do believe that Ha-Seong Kim is a potential. It could be rumored in deals throughout the offseason.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though they're using him in all the graphics,
I wouldn't trade him
for the Soul series.
I wouldn't trade him, but I would think that of the players remaining on the Padres that have any value, Ha-Seong Kim would be the one that teams would be calling on the most.
James in the chat said SI reported Cronenworth and Kim are being shot, but SI is like AI.
Yeah, it's like AI bots.
And James says if something happens tonight, wrap-up show. Arguable. Yeah, if Musgrove gets moved, if Kim gets moved,
then we'll do an emergency show. Don't worry.
Find a way. All right, if you missed anything today, we have Aztec pregame on the other side. Myself and Ben Fletcher. It's been a very long day for Jim. We started at 3:03. It's now 4:53.
It is a long day.
If you missed anything, you know where to find us. We are back tomorrow at 3 p.m. for Brent and Jim. I'm John. Aztec pregame. The countdown to tip-off is next. Big game coming up, folks. San Diego State and Stanford at 6 on San Diego Sports 760.
Okay, peace out. Bye.
Bye-bye.